Hey guys, it's me Danielle back with another video, and as you read from the title, I am resurrecting house chats, and today we're actually going to talk about this rich white people college admission scam because that is a topic. Don't forget to, like this video, comment along with the video if you agree with what I'm saying, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, and what is your perspective on this issue. So let's get into it. So some background on this whole story. So apparently there's a federal case for a $25 million scheme to get the children of celebrities and other executive types into college. It's these prestigious colleges. So we have people such as Lori Loughlin, who's on Becky from Full House, and Felicity Huffman from Desperate Housewives. They were paying these college admissions counselors, coaches, and other private testing people, I believe too, just paying them to kind of ensure that their child would get a spot into these Ivy League type schools, which are already kind of hard to get into because they have low admission rates. Is it admission rates or is it acceptance rates? Whatever it is, those are super low, and it's already difficult to get into those schools. So reading off my phone, according to the New York Times, 50 people have been charged, including those celebrity type parents, private admissions counselors, exam administrators, and athletic coaches. So this is a big whole ring, a scheme, a ring of people who were doing all these illegal dealings to get these already privileged students into these elite schools. So first things first, after doing some research, reading a couple articles, I had one main question. And that question was, what the hell was your kid doing in school? Because if you think about the group of people we're talking about here, these are people who have money. So with money, at least in America, probably around the world, with money comes privilege. So your kid was already set up to succeed in life. They had access to all of these resources. They had access to private tutors. They had access to these elite social networks. They had networking opportunities. They were going to these super private institutions that actually feed into these elite institutions like a Harvard, a Yale, a Princeton, all those schools. But yet they were doing so bad, or just not, they just weren't good enough, that you had to pay thousands of dollars to get your kid into the school. All I have to say about that is that they just didn't take advantage of the opportunities that were presented to them. I know a lot of minorities, we don't grow up in the best of situations. We don't have those type of resources. So a lot of us have to make the best of what we have and work hard to get to where we are. We didn't have those type of resources in school. For me, in high school, I didn't even have a guidance counselor my senior year of college. So my friends and I, we had to do a lot of our research and figure out this whole application process ourselves. Lucky for me, my mom and sister were able to help me with a couple of things, but a lot of people don't have that and do it essentially on their own. So if we could do it, why can't you, who has all these things to help them, why didn't you? This also brought to light how the education system, which is supposed to bring knowledge and enlightenment and kind of help us gain freedom as, Black people, people of color, to gain freedom to doing better for ourselves, as white America likes to say, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and make something out of ourselves through education. But that system is actually rigged against us because we aren't on the same playing field as others, and actually perpetuates this whole cycle of discrimination and racism. So it's so, I'm just what do you do? A lot of public schools in these inner cities where a lot of minorities are are crap. Public funding is cut. They do not have resources to ensure the best education for the students that go there. And that just means that they're not receiving proper instruction and they're not getting connected to opportunities to provide them with further knowledge and to set them up to know what to do in order to get into college, to receive financial aid and all those other things. So a lot of people just don't know because they just aren't told that. And we are also put in a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation, because what happens when Black students do manage to succeed and excel? What is the reaction then? So a story circulated social media last year of April where a then high school senior, Michael Brown, had received like 20 full ride scholarships to like all these prestigious schools. I believe among them were like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Stanford. And like to receive a full ride scholarship to Ivy League schools, like that's major. Black or white or Spanish or Chinese, like that is major for whoever you are. Like that's impressive. So of course this was shared all over social media. You know, Black people celebrated because, you know, we shout out our own. That's Black excellence at, you know, its best. So like it was a time for like celebration, celebrating this like young man who did this major thing. That's great, right? But not according to these two news anchors from DC who actually called him obnoxious from taking spots away from other deserving students. Now, in the words of Remy Ma, are you dumb? Like, for a kid to get 20 full ride scholarships, that doesn't have anything to do with other deserving students. 20 scholarships to 20 different schools, but he's one student, so he can only accept one scholarship, leaving 19 other scholarships available to other deserving students. He cannot go to all of those schools, you bozos. Like, you cannot see this story for what it was. This was Michael Brown working his butt off to get a 4.68 GPA. I thought the scale stopped at 4.0. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. But he got a 4.68 GPA, but you couldn't see that, but instead decided to spin the story and kind of like ruin this celebration by calling him obnoxious and selfish for taking spots away from other kids, white kids, which doesn't even make sense because that math don't add up, because that does not add up. At the end of the day, this is just another case of rich white privilege, and it's actually a scary thought to think that little rich white Jimmy, who's mediocre to say, but whose parents had the money to pay his way into Harvard or Yale somewhere, but just didn't get caught, is actually going to be somebody's CEO or CFO over kids who actually worked really hard and are much more deserving and smarter, but just didn't have the same resources. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like it if you did. I hope you were commenting, you know, put below your thoughts on this story and how do you feel about it. I need to know like how everyone else is feeling about the situation, because I was, this is crazy. This is a crazy story. And like, those are just the people who got caught. Like, I'm sure there are others who are doing that and have not been caught yet. And I'm sure the people who are caught aren't even gonna pay or actually get jail time. So comment below your thoughts and let's start a discussion. And be sure to, you know, share this video as well. Like it, subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media. I'll put all those links in the description box below, and I will see you in the next video.